Hello everyone, Ethan Lloyd here with BTC Fiber. Got along with me here Glenn Eidson and our first episode of his new show, Valley Views, where we're going to try to get out in the community, or Glenn is, and talk about different things that are going on with our civic organizations, different events for the people, the families to enjoy, and just all the great things that go on right here in the Sequatchie Valley, concentrating mostly right here in Dunlap. We're right here at Harris Park today, and that's probably where we'll try to do a lot of our filming, where this is just a beautiful central park for us right here in Dunlap. So Glenn, tell us a little about yourself for people that don't know you, and then your ideas for our show.
Well, Ethan, I've been an educator here for 30 years, and I'm retired now, and I've always wanted to advertise the Sequatchie Valley, because I think it's a great place to live, and it's got many great things to offer. And I want other people to realize what we have here. We may be small, we're not as some of the bigger cities, but we have a lot of things to offer, and I want people to know that, and hopefully through this program we can get that done.
I was sitting with the county mayor the other day, and he said big town amenities with a small town charm. A tagline he's wanting to develop, and I think that's really what we do have right here. I often say it's the most beautiful place on earth, and I just talking about valley views. I love getting up on the bluffs and looking off in the valley,
Yes.
And then of course standing in the valley and looking up at the mountains. Somebody was telling me about a rock formation behind Bethel Church the other day. I've never noticed. I'm gonna stop and look at it. So it's a great thing. But you know, no matter what people say, what gets them here, it might be some scenic beauty or this and that, but it's the people.
Right.
You know, what the community does, how it works together, what it does for itself or its other folks around. So that's what I think we want to highlight here, not just scenery. We can do that with a photo session, and then may do some of that too. But
Yes.
But yeah, if we can get the people in here that are giving back to their communities and really highlight that, I think that's the best thing that we got to offer here in the Sequatchie Valley.
Well, that's what I found out over the years. Originally not being from here, the Sequatchie Valley, and marrying up this way, but I've been here over 30 years, so I feel like I'm part of the community anyway. And I've had nothing but good responses from the people in this community. Everybody's wanting to always try to help somebody, do what they can, and then especially around Christmas time when we do all the special events to help people, it's just tremendous, the outpouring that the people here have, because they're always thinking about other people, not themselves. And that's what I like about this community. We're thinking about others rather than ourselves.
Where were you raised?
I was raised in Boaz, Alabama. It's on Sand Mountain, and a little small community. It was about at that time about 10,000 people, and it's grown. But it's a nice little community in Sand Mountain. Don't get to go back as much as I like, but I'm happy here too. So I enjoy. There's places here that I've not been, so I still want to go and adventure here in the valley.
Oh yeah. Now you said you're an educator. What all education do you have? What's your education background?
Well, originally I went to the University of Alabama, and I had a degree in journalism because I wanted to write, and I do that. I do write some. I've written a book with some students before, so we've got that published. But I went from there to education. I got my education degree and taught here locally for 30 years. Taught at the middle school level, and I enjoyed that. It was a good experience for me. I've never had a bad experience really there. And the educators here are fine folks. That they work hard. It's just a good community. We don't have as many things as some of the bigger school systems have, but when you look at our scores, we compare to others just as well.
Oh yeah, a lot of fine educators, and I know our school system serves kindly as hubs in the community. That's one of the biggest things to do around here. I know people talk about in small towns why is football such a big deal. It's a long ways to go for us to go to Knoxville or to Nashville to see a different type of sporting event in a big town. So your high school sports, of course, always supporting the community. If it's about the kids, everybody's going to want to come out and turn out. But yeah, I mean that is our entertainment. What the schools have going on and everything. Yeah, it's a huge thing for all ages and all walks of life to be able to,
Right,
that's a
right.
big part of our community. And the extracurricular, like I say, that's giving back to the communities through the schools. Yeah, they can keep them inside there and teach them well, but those extracurricular activities, when the community gets to come out, just see how talented the youth is. That's really what
Yes.
important.
I'm always amazed at the number of people that show up. I announce the football games for the Sequatchie County, and I'm always amazed that it doesn't matter what kind of year we're having. And same thing about Bledsoe County and in the Valley. It doesn't matter the year, people are going to turn out and support those children.
Oh yeah.
And that's what it's all about, because children need our support as adults, because if they don't get it, somebody else will give them that support, and it may not be the type people we want them to get the support from.
Productive attention, or structured attention.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely a big deal. Well, what's some of the ideas you think we'll cover here? Some of the things that we might line up for our show, and then different ways that people might get with us.
Well, we've been talking about nonprofit organizations. There's plenty of them around here. The volunteer fire departments, the rescue squad, and many of the civic clubs. And a lot of times, I don't think we understand totally what all they do. Like for example, the volunteer fire departments. It takes money to buy that equipment. It's not cheap, and they have to have their fundraisers so they can purchase equipment. And then they have to go out on a limb. If they need a new vehicle, they have to go out on a limb and take a loan, and they have to pay that back, and that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And we want to find out about them and other civic organizations, not just the volunteer fire department, but we have a lot of volunteers in this community that do a lot of things to this community. And if it wasn't for the volunteers, we'd be lacking in a lot of things.
Training, I know with the volunteer firemen, I think a lot of them go through just as much training as the professionals.
Yes.
I heard them quoted on the news, one of the locals after a fire, and they'd done a really good job getting it under control, and one of the chiefs said, well, they're just unpaid professionals instead of volunteers. I think a lot of times when we think volunteers, it's just I'll volunteer to help build something, but I'm no carpenter.
Right.
That's not really the case with our firemen.
No.
They're not just volunteering to help fight a fire because it's happened right then. They're trained, and they do have the right equipment. So yeah, I think that's something we can talk about with them for sure, is how much training they go through, and then how they get their funds.
Right, and we want to talk also, like I said, we've talked about the education, but there's a lot of things going on that involve children here in the community, events. And then there's a lot of events. We got Valley Fest coming up pretty soon in May, I believe, the first weekend in May. And,
Free admission this year.
Yes, that's going to be one of our programs we're going to talk about later, and we're going to talk about that. We have things like the 4th of July and Hee Haw and all the programs that we have. It's amazing to me that every year on a consistent basis, Hee Haw raises several $1,000s for cancer. And every night it goes on for 3 or 4 performances, and every performance is full. Yeah.
All that money stays right here in Sequatchie County.
Yes, it does.
And that's something that's key, I think, to giving back to the community, is knowing that every dollar, that the entire dollar you put in went to what you thought it was going to.
Right.
A lot of times then we see, you could give to this or you could give to that, but you really don't know. But when you support local, it's your friends, your neighbors, your cousins that are managing the money. You know that it stayed right there exactly where you wanted it to.
Yes, and I through this program, I just want us to promote the Valley, because there's so many things here. Last year they had the bike ride through the Valley, and that brought in a lot of business, and it was something new that we'd never had before. And my understanding is they're going to have it again this year. So, just a lot of different things that we need to promote the Valley, that because I've known people in Chattanooga, for example, and they'll tell me, well, when I come over that mountain on 111, that valley, I see that valley, and so it's pretty. Well, yes, it is. It is pretty.
I know as locals, sometimes we grumble, there's not much to do.
Yeah.
And I know when I started taking on more of this role with the TV and trying to find out what all is going on and put it on our TV station or our YouTube channel, that's incorrect. there's all kinds of things to do right
Yes.
here in the valley. For our youth, right here we are at Harris Park, got a new farmer's market, got the water park, got plenty of good recreation facilities. Running right now is a youth ball sign-ups right now.
Yes.
You know, they're trying to raise participation in that, volunteer coaches, all that. And it's a great event to go out and see them kids play ball. It's a fun time, you know. There's all kinds of good things that goes on we could talk about.
Right, because I mean, I don't have any children involved. Mine are adults now, my children. But going over there and supporting people that I know that have children involved, that's part of it. Just the kids really like that too, knowing that someone cares enough about them to come watch them play ball.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Glenn, I'm looking forward to it. What anything else you can think of we want to tell to the viewers today?
Well, if you have any ideas for us, let us know. Be glad to give it a shot, because we're open for ideas. We have some ideas going on that we've got lined up, but we're open for ideas.
Email, social media.
Yes, we're going to work on the emails. We'll get that to you, and we'll try to have a Facebook page, and we mentioned YouTube. This will be on YouTube, so if you miss it, you can get a chance to go back and watch it.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. BTC Fiber has a YouTube channel. You can find it on our website. So if you ever want to go through there, and then we'll have links to our Facebook and our email page on there, and or we'll put them on the screen. You'll be able to see them there on the screen. So,
all right, good deal.
Well, everyone, till our next episode, when we might probably going to talk about the BTC Fiber Valley Fest 2020 and have some of those on. Maybe let us know who the headliners are, and again reiterate that it's free this year. And then, but until next time, y'all enjoy this beautiful Sequatchie Valley.
That's right. Y'all have a good day.